All right, here we go. So we're going to start with Pacific Coast Agent 1. Pacific Coast Agent 1 is the most used application that we have in real estate. And the reason it's so widely used is because it's typically a net sheet app. So it gives you buyers net sheets. So for instance, you want to take a buyer, show them property, and you want to share with them what their payments are going to be, what their costs are going to be. It's going to share all that with them. It also does marketing flyers, and stuff like that. It also does sellers net sheets, so you guys don't have to rely on escrows. Sometimes we wait till Monday when escrow comes around because you want a net sheet. So you can actually do the net sheet also right on your phone or on the computer. I'm using the web-based right now, but when you actually create your account, you're going to have access to put it up to 3 devices. So you can put it on your cell phone, on your computer, and on your laptop or your iPad, whichever one. So as you can see on the top part, it's got your buyer's net sheets, which I'm going to go over. You click on the seller, and it's going to have your seller's net sheets. And another great feature about the app is the calculators. So with the calculators, it allows you to do many different calculations for the buyers. For instance, equity review, buy now or buy later, buy down calculator, monthly affordability, rent versus buy, and one of my favorites, the flip calculator, when you're calculating flips, if you guys have investors you guys want to deal with. But it really has all of these neat calculators that you can use for your buyers. Also, we will go over the premium, which again is all the marketing that you have access to. So a lot of people always wonder, what can I want to put something on social media every day, but I don't have really something to put every day. So I want to make sure you can come in here and go through all of these marketing social media posts, and you can start using them as well. So how do you get started? It's simple. You just reach out to me. I send you the link to Pacific Coast Agent 1. Again, so you can go ahead and download it on your phone or on your iPad or your computer. So we're going to get started with buyer's net sheet. Okay. So a lot of times when you have a buyer, how do you typically, give them an estimate? A lot of times people call the lender, right? They'll call the lender to try to give them an estimate. But with this, you can actually do it right there on the spot where you can give them an estimate. Now, remember, these are only estimates. They're not actual conclusion. These are not what we're going to, they're not written in stone. So the first thing I'm going to do when I hit my buyer's agent, I'm going to add an address. And the reason I want to add an address is because one of the things I get asked a lot about are taxes, property taxes. So, when you show a property and you're trying to calculate payments, you want to know what kind of property taxes are on the property. Is there any type of, is it at 1.25? Is it at 1.81? Is it at 2%? What would I calculate my payments on? So once you put in the address, which in this case, I'll go ahead and punch in an address. I'll just put my address. You punch in an address, and what happens is it automatically will give you the current tax rate on that property. Let me see. Oh, yes. Let me move it to Riverside. So it'll give you the current tax rate on the property. Oh, it just kicked me out. There you go. So it gives me the current tax rate. So right now, the current tax rate, as you can see, the property tax rate is $8,161. But what happens is when I am actually going to calculate the payment, once I put my purchase price, it recalculates it and it bases it on that sales price. So when you talk to your buyer, it's an actual payment that you're going to actually give them. So I'm going to go conventional, which I have my choices here of conventional, FHA, VA, all cash. So in this case, I'm just going to go conventional. Home price, I'm just going to put $1 million. Down payment is set at 10%, but again, I could put pretty much anything. Interest rate, 6.85, 30 years. If there's any HOAs, I'm going to go ahead and put it here. There's no HOAs. And then escrows, you can calculate, it automatically defaults to our escrow, but you can get your escrow fees from your escrow company and you put their information on there and it will go ahead and save it. So I'm going to go ahead and put one last thing on the closing date. I'm going to change the closing date here to a month from now.
Oh, you did it for next year.
Oh, I did it for next year?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good. So hold on. Da-da-da-da-da.
Good luck. Click that one again.
Yeah.
And then do the
Now let's just do this one. There you go. And then I'm going to hit compute. And what's cool about this, see what it does? Now, based on the $1 million sales price that I put, is going to give me the new tax on the particular property. So the new tax rate of 1.088%, and it's going to give me a dollar amount. So you don't have to call you don't have to call us and be like, hey, what's the tax rate on this property? Because sometimes you're showing 3 or 4 properties. And here in the Inland Empire, everyone could have a different tax rate, right? Because of obviously, the taxes they're different everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, great. Now I know my tax rate. I'm going to click on done. And then what's going to happen is it's going to actually give me the actual thing here. There you go. So what it does, as you can see, it gives me principal and interest, $5,900, your taxes, your insurance, and your PMI, because we only went 10% down conventional, right? So your total payment is $7,448, right? Total bring to close would be $125,000. So when you're talking with a buyer, now you'll have a more clear example as far as what they're looking at. Now, what's great about this is I actually have several other options to share with the buyer. Number one, I could click on my detailed closing costs right here, which is going to detail all the closing costs on this transaction for the buyer. Okay, so if they want to go over it, we definitely can go over it. And I can also edit it to change some of the fees or to add some more fees. Okay, another thing that's pretty cool is as I'm working with buyers, see right here where it says share or print PDF? I clear share or print PDF and it automatically gives me a cool flyer that I can send to the client. And what's great about it, as you can see here, this is an estimate, right? Buyer's conventional loan information, prepaid costs, it gives you the payment, it gives you everything, right? But this is a great feature that we have. When you go to the left, see here where it says customize, you could customize it. I could choose the language instead of English. Maybe I'm speaking to a Spanish speaking buyer. So I'm going to click to Spanish and I'm going to have it updated. So when it updates, guess what? This now becomes in Spanish. So I can go ahead then from here, and obviously this is all going to be marketed towards you. It's going to have your picture, your company, your logo, not my information. So it's going to have a whole breakdown, and I'm going to go ahead and then I can share it with the client by going over here. I can email it, I can download it and print it, I can share it on social media, or I can basically save it. So let's say you're having an open house, right? A lot of times people are like, man, I don't even know what to put. I got my open house flyers, but what else can I give? Well, obviously what I like to do is some of this, since I'm customizing it, you see on the right side over here, I can actually figure this out. Let's say I click on this one. This $1 million, let's say the property is listed at $1 million. And this is also something I would use as an estimate, but I can share it with people that are coming in as well. As you can see here, it's a home report, price of $1 million. If you go 10% down, it breaks down monthly payment and how much they bring to closing. It has a property address. It has the schools that are nearby, right? And then it has where the market is and also some other information on the property, right? But that's not it. Another great feature that we have is, let me go back here. Since I'm working with the property, which I really like to use this for open houses as well, you see where it says loan details up on top? Because remember, we went on the bottom with detailed closing costs. On the right side here is where you can share it to PDF. But over here on the top part, you have Smart Compare and you have loan details. So I'm going to click on Smart Compare to see what that is. So what it does is it could give me different types of loan comparisons for this property. So if I'm dealing with somebody, I can say, hey, you know what, 20% down, you're gonna save so much, your rate, and it's gonna give me a payment, right? This one is, the first one is 10%, 20%, and this one's at 15 years, okay? But let's say I wanna edit it. Let's say that I actually wanna do something a little different, right? Well, the first one I like 20% down, but let's just say I wanna do maybe a VA loan or something, right? I maybe compare it with a VA, and let's just say I wanna do, even though FHA would be different, FHA, 3%, and then I'm gonna compare, even though it's gonna probably tell me that the close amount. But this is cool, because if I have an open house, and let's say my property is 600,000, 650,000, I can actually create a flyer where it breaks it down. If you buy this house with 3.5%, if you buy it with 10%, or if you buy it with 20% down, right? So now what I'll come down here is now I'm gonna share it to PDF, to print, and this is where it gets really cool. This is another great flyer that you can actually share with your people that are coming into your open house. If you purchase this property, it's $1 million listing. We got a 30-year fixed, 10% down. We have a FHA, and we have a 0% down VA, and it compares payments. Okay? And again, you guys can go ahead and customize this. You see right here where it says customize it. I'm gonna edit, update. This is gonna be the only one for this because it's Spanish. You can change the profile. You can do all of that stuff over here. Okay, so again, I can go ahead and email it, print it, and do whatever I want with it. But this is a great flyer when you are showing property or when you need a flyer for open house to give to people. You know, when they're walking in, they'll have an idea as far as what the breakdown is on the property. So that's gonna be the first part, which is gonna be on the buyer. You have any questions on that? On the buyer net sheets? Anybody over here? I can't see. Let me see. Use, Bill. I can't see if anybody's. No questions? So now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a buyer. I'm gonna switch from a buyer net sheet.
What is different with the MLS? The calculations in MLS.
The calculations are gonna be very similar, but the great thing about this is right on your phone and it's on your computer, and it's also a seller net sheet, buy sheet. I don't know on the MLS. Do they give you the property taxes as well? And they don't have the marketing pieces like you have here. So you have the calculator, but you don't have the marketing pieces that you can send to your client. Because the great thing about this, like let's say you're showing 2 or 3 properties to a buyer. It's nice if you can calculate the payment on each flyer with the address, and then as you're going, you send it to them. This is property number 1. This is property number 2, and this is property number 3. And that way they'll have an idea, okay, this is kind of where we're at on each property. It'll give them an idea, okay? Now we go to the seller's net sheet. Right here on the top, I click on seller. If it's on your phone, if you guys are on your phone, these sections, they're gonna be towards the bottom of the actual phone, okay?
Nice.
Now, the same thing, I'm gonna go through the same thing. Now, let's say I have a listing appointment. And on the listing appointment, I need to create a net sheet for the seller, right? You know, you're prospecting so much. So, hey, I wanna make sure I get a good net sheet. So the first thing I do, again, I'm gonna go ahead and type in their property. So I'll type in another property that we have. And as you go in, you find it. Okay, I'm gonna do this net sheet also. I'm gonna do it conventional. You see how it gives me the current property taxes, which is great. It's whenever you see something like this, it's gonna say, oh, I noticed that there's a loan on the property. What interest rate is on that loan? And the reason that they ask you for that loan rate is for what? Anybody? So the reason they ask you for the rate is because they're gonna go ahead and make sure that if you close a month or 2 or a day or 2 days or 3 days, they're gonna prorate what the payment is. So that's why they kind of want the interest rate. So let's just say I'm just gonna put on there a percentage and compute. Okay, use estimate. So now, again, what are we gonna sell it for? Let's say we sell it for $750, okay? What's my broker fee? 6%, 7%, 8%, whatever you wanna charge, right? We go ahead and put it here. Do I have any repairs that I'm asking them to do? Anything else, any miscellaneous that I need them to pay for? My property taxes are already on here. My seller loan balance, because remember, when we put the rate on, it's gonna give me kind of more or less what it sold. So if I took out so much, it's gonna drop it down. Okay, this is more or less how much they owe on the property. If there's only one loan, right? So, seller interest rate, I have it at 4%. Again, I have choices, Pacifico's title, escrow, but you definitely could put your escrow information with your manual calculator. You put the company name and you have their base amount that you're gonna choose there. Okay, again, when am I gonna close? Maybe we could schedule to close in about a month. Boom, click on that and look at how easy this is. Just like that, I have a nice net sheet for the actual seller. And since I got the net sheet, remember it's a calculator, but the beautiful thing about this is that this is what they're gonna net, 287,000 based on the information that I took, okay? It's gonna have your price, your balance, your basically prorated tax debit, your closing costs, your net to close. Again, detailed closing costs, you can click on that. Another great thing is the marketing. Share the PDF. So I'm going to share the PDF because I want to send this to the client, or I want to take it with me on the listing appointment. So here it is. It's got a place for them to sign the signature, you know, their information. Your information will go here, and it's a nice net sheet. But remember, we had switched it over to Spanish. But let's say this client speaks only English. So I'm going to change my language back to English or French or whatever, and then I'm going to go ahead and change it. So I got a nice net sheet. And then I have other templates here that I can choose to use as well, right? I can maybe click on this one. Maybe I like it a little better, and I go from there. See that? Let's say I want to customize it because this one is in gold. Maybe I want to put my Champions blue, right? Actually choose footer. I could change anything like this. Maybe I like this one, or this one. Maybe I like this one. So I can kind of just play with it. Okay. And it gives you your estimated date. Again, I turn around and I can email it to the client, download it, print it, or do whatever I want. And all these features are the same on your cell phone as they are on the computer. And it allows you to give them quick estimates. You don't have to call anybody. And again, look at the breakdown of fees. You don't have to figure out what your escrow fees are, your title fees are. They're all in there. So everything would be calculated in there.
On the phone version, you can actually text it directly to your client. So
Yeah.
You don't have to.
So like if you're driving around showing property, or you could text the buyer net sheet, or if somebody calls you a possible seller, you know what? Hey, what are you thinking? This and that. How much would I net? Have the conversation with them and say, look, I'm gonna shoot you over just a quick estimate, but let's have a conversation, you know, about this. And you could text it to them. That way they feel like you're number one on what you do. You understand what you're doing. You don't need to seek help from everybody else just to get them a net sheet. And a lot of times people call you on the weekends when they have time. And the last thing you want to say is like, oh my God, let me get you a net sheet. I'll get you a net sheet on Monday. By Monday, they already cooled down. They don't even want to talk to you anymore, right? They're like, you know, we changed our mind. So you know what? I want to make sure I get it all done right away. So let me go back now, right? Because I want to share with you guys some more options that we have as a seller's net sheet. So I shared with you guys the detailed closing costs, the print PDF, but remember, we also have multiple offers or holding costs. Now, multiple offers are awesome because especially now, if you get a listing, you get multiple offers on that property. You don't just get one. So what happens is I can create multiple offers on one sheet. So I can share that with the seller. So let's say I have a listing and I have multiple offers. So the first one is this one that I just did for $750,000, but I'm gonna go ahead and click on multiple offers here, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and go down and I'm gonna add a new offer. And guess what I'm gonna do? The second one is also gonna be conventional. Let's say that the second one is gonna be an offer of $760,000, right? They have a down payment of 20%. right? I'm gonna write a buyer's, an agent's name right here, so I can make sure that I know who's giving me the offer, right? How much do they want for broker fee? They maybe put 3%, maybe this one only wanted 2%, right? And then I'm gonna put any notes. And then I'm gonna come back here, how much are they gonna give me deposit? Let's say this was giving me 10,000. They're not charging me, they don't want a warranty. And they have a closing date in 30 days. So we're gonna go ahead and write this one, 30 days. And then here's subject to client selling home, right? So I'm gonna add this to the again. See, now I got 2, but let's say I got 3 offers. So I'm gonna do a third one, multiple offers, right? So I'm gonna click on multiple offers again, add a new offer, and then I'm gonna say, let's say this one is maybe VA, right? And this person is offering 740. Obviously, no down payment. And this one is gonna be another agent charging 3%. I'm just gonna do a deposit there. They want a home warranty. Closing date, again, they want maybe another 30 days as well. None, no contingencies, right? So I'm gonna add. And I could keep going on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But look at this, what's cool is when I'm done, I go ahead and share print. And look at what it does. It actually puts all the offers together in one sheet so that now you don't have to confuse the heck out of the seller. So as you can see here shortly, it's calculating, it's computing. Okay, we gotta pay the internet. No. Well, trust me, it's gonna calculate the 3 of them on one sheet of paper. And it makes it easy because now with the 3 offers, I can actually turn around and say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, here's the 3 offers we had. And you could just put one page in front of them or shoot it over to them, and it's gonna break every single offer down, how much they're gonna net, what the contingencies are, and then you could tell them which one do you wanna go with. Oh, I wanna go with offer number 1, I wanna go with offer number 2 or offer number 3. It's kind of weird.
That's the internet here.
Yeah, let me go back. I would say it was my computer, but I jumped on your computer. Oh, it got stuck there. So I'm gonna go here to my seller. I got all the way out. Multiple offers. Let's see if it'll do it again. And for whatever reason, it's not calculating it. Well, just trust me, it'll show up eventually. Again, with the internet, because it does calculate several of them. But again, it gives you the flyer that you can share. It'll say offer 1, offer 2, offer 3, and then it breaks down. It gives you the notes. It gives you the contingency. So some people even they have like 5, 6, 10 offers. So when you have 10 offers, you could literally it'll break it down like boom, boom, boom.
I remember one time I received more than 50 offers.
How many?
More than 50.
Oh.
And I make a resume for each one. Number,
See, that's a lot of work.
It's FHA, down payment, contingency, everything. I make a resume for any.
See, that's a lot of work. So you could come in here and you calculate each one and you put in the information, and then it'll give you its own, calculator, your own marketing flyer. So then it doesn't confuse the client either. It's right in front of them. This is what you're gonna net. This is this contingencies, and then out of the 50, you say, hey, yeah. Then you say, let's go ahead and counter offer number 2 and offer number 10 and offer number 12. Then you can counter those 3, and the other ones you just don't. But anyways,
Makes it so simple.
yeah, it does make it simple. But again, I don't know why it's not.
Some people send offer very complicated. They make a big letter explaining. No, and I learned then when you submit an offer, easy when you go, I send you an offer, my client offered this FHA, this is down payment, this is a FICO score. Oh, great, now I know
It's just
everything.
easy. Yeah, easy to
Just
read.
verify the papers, but some people, you
Understand everything, yeah. So now, besides the buyers and sellers net sheets, we have these calculators. And on the calculators, like I said, there's many different calculators you could use for a buyer or a seller. And it's great if you actually go through them, every single one, like let's say this flip calculator, you put on this one, and every one is gonna actually have their own, see this right here? You click on it and it will share with you what does that calculator do. It's like a tutorial on each of those calculators. So you can actually go through it and it'll go through it and you can it'll help you actually with your clients. I did that, but people didn't like me being on there because they couldn't understand my accent. So we had to put somebody else on there.
Yeah, some you need to sell and to buy another property.
Yeah. So flip calculator is one of my favorites. Again, you punch in an address, any address. I already got this one on here. So once you punch in an address, again, it's going to give you the information. So a flip calculator is if you have a property that's in distress.
They give you a sample. You say the same address. For example, we need to sell a property, for example, 975, and then the balance is like 145, and then he wanna buy a property for no more than 760.
Mm-hmm.
That sample can.
So if you go to the buyer to calculate, you're saying that he wants to buy a 760. So I'm going to go to the buyer's calculator.
So the same seller is
He wants to
selling
sell
house.
first to buy.
Yeah. So, but you're saying he's going to net 160, right?
Yes.
So if he's going to net 160,
145.
so let's say 145. So would you like to clear? Yes, I'm going to clear all bill. So I'm going to start over here. I would put an address if I knew the address, but you don't know it yet. But let's just say he's going to go, how much did he want to buy? About 745?
760, buy something for around 760.
760, all right. So 760. So I would put the home price of 760. And right here, instead of percentage, I'm going to put, he's got about 145,000.
Maybe you can pay cash because he own a house. The value is like a 975. Only the balance is only like 145.
Oh, the balance is, so how much would he walk away with? So, okay, so let me go to sellers. Now we'll go to seller. Go back here. So now if you want to calculate for seller, again, I'm going to go ahead and start over here. So I'll click on this one. Yeah, start over. So if he's going to sell for 900,000,
975.
975. And I'm assuming you're going to charge around 6%.
And balance
Seller loan.
145.
145. Oh. So 145. Right? Let's just say the interest rate on his current loan on that 145 is about 4.25%. and then you're gonna sell it and close it in 30 days. So now it's gonna compute. So based on that sales price and his balance, he's gonna walk away with 763,000. That's what he's gonna walk away with. So if he wants to buy around 765, so yeah, he'll probably buy cash, you know. And how old is he? Is he over 55?
We try to sell, buy, and then reverse mortgage.
Okay.
78 years old.
So if he sells and you buy, remember you got Prop 19. So
Yes,
on Prop
yes,
19, on the property taxes, you can go transfer the assessed
yes,
the assessed
we have
value.
to do everything.
So definitely there. But that's how you would figure it out. Okay? So again, going back to calculators, different calculators you can start using, flip calculators, loan balances, CalHAFA, multiple offers, rent versus buy, monthly affordability. I mean, there's just so many that you can actually run through. Smart compare. And this is, again, something you just kind of want to go through and kind of play with them, see what's out there on these.
Sorry for go back. The interest you use, normally we can ask them, what is your interest?
So usually you
rate?
ask them for their statement, and their
Okay,
statement will
yes.
have a balance and an interest rate. That's where you
And
would find.
that give
That's
you-
where we put it there,
Yes.
4.25. But if they don't, they just say the average is 4.25 to give you an estimate. You know? Okay, now the premium, which is this one, there is a charge for the app, which is only like $10 for the entire year, $10 a year.
The app is free.
The app is
but
free.
If you want the premium.
Correct. So the app is free, but if you want to upgrade to the premium, it's $10 a year. And the reason they have to charge you is because it's title. We cannot give you any kind of marketing stuff for free. So basically, the app builds in the marketing, and they charge you $10 a year. Okay, and it's really cool because in reality, it's got many different actual marketing pieces you can use. It's got from let me see, recommended infographics, swipeable infographics, personalized videos. Watch, let me click on this one. This one's pretty cool. Let's see, you know, rising rates. Let's see, you could put any of these on. And you could put these on social media, right? So I can actually, because it's gonna be marketed towards me. So it's gonna have this, you put on social media, and at the end it brands you. Or you can send it to your clients, like download it and then you forward it, you know, to your CRM so that they could have information for you. And then instead of me, it would be you with your company information, right? So again, you can go ahead and share it, click on here. You can download it and then text it to your clients. Hey, you know what? Just something, because again, people are always trying to like, well, what do I send my clients all the time? I don't even know without bothering him, you know? So sometimes some of these are actually really cool that you can send it to them. You can email it to them. So that way it's a touch. At least you have a touch for them.
The TikTok features new.
Yeah, that wasn't there. You can share it to Facebook.
It even has a caption on there too already for you.
Yeah.
That's super nice.
Yeah, so you copy the caption and then just share it and you just paste that right under it.
Yeah. Let me go back here. And they have, again, different flyers. What's this? This one's the new one, the seller's concessions. You know, everybody asks about seller's concessions. You know, sometimes, again, just something to put yourself. And they're not too super long where it bores people, you know, but it just markets you and it puts you in the space of doing business in real estate, right? Marketed towards you. And again, this is all basically the videos that you could download, and again, you can share them. It's got the infographics. Click on this. It's got filters. So these are cool. You would basically grab any of these, seller concessions, bunch of different ones that they have. Interest rates drop. Should you wait to buy? You could click on this one for example, I'll show you how this works. Buy now, buy later. But it allows you to put whatever you want in here. And again, the flyer is marketed towards you. So a nice flyer that you can actually maybe text people or maybe even print for your open house as well, right? Hey, buy now or buy later. Look at the difference. You know, the down payment rates are going to be lower, but property is going to go up. Down payment goes up and your monthly payment even goes up. So you can create these flyers and you can do them based on whatever, you know, like let's say, like you said, we have an open house. Let's say your open house is for $750 and you're doing a 10% down. $750, we'll compute that because my open house is $750. And again, hey, the house is $750, right? But I'm going to give you this flyer too because I'm going to compare. If you wait till later, you might be paying $825 for the same house, right? So again, these are the marketing tools that you guys have with this app. And that's going to be the infographics. Go back here and there's a bunch of them. You guys can see. I mean, you guys can load up your marketing like crazy, you know. Go back here. Filters are also cool. Click on the filters here. And then open houses. Let's just say you have open houses just listed. Very simple. You click on it. Right? And then you just download the picture and you share it. Same thing with the just listed. Let's say you do the just listed. So basically you put the picture here and you share it. So the picture would go in the beginning here. So these are the filters.
Up at the top, they have whether for Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook story.
Yeah. So then once you put it here, you can put it on your story right away. Hey, just listed this property and it's going to have the nice house and it's just listed. Or even if it's not your listing, again, if you're holding an open house, then you can actually use it. Right? Open houses. And they got a bunch of them too. So you just click on it, and then boom, right? Your logo will be on it. And you would basically put the property on here. Okay? Any questions? No questions. Nobody. How about up in the back? Any questions back there? Again, you guys have all these and put all your favorites. Shareable calculators. These are cool right here too. So the whole thing is to get the app, download the app, and play with the app. Because this is like a one-stop shop, really. Your buyer's net sheets, your seller's net sheets, you got marketing. You know, you're at a barbecue and somebody says, hey, I'm thinking a house. How much is the payment on a house? Like $500,000. You know, they always ask you, what's the payment on a house like $500,000? Hey, bring out your phone, based on the payment, $500,000, your payment's going to be this much. Let me send it to you. Right? And the whole thing is to be prepared. Be prepared. Use the actual tools that we have at our disposal. And remember, it's good for your phone. It's good for your computer, laptop, iPad, whatever it is. And it's $10 for the entire year. And you can use all of this information. Any other questions?
No.
Nada?
Just practice.
Practice and use it.
Yes.
Any questions in here? I can't even see if anybody's on here.
It should pop up on like the right side if there's questions.
No questions. All right, no questions. All right, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, Hugo Lopez, Pacific Coast Title, Senior Vice President, Pacific Coast Title. I appreciate everybody being here, and if you have any questions, reach out. Thank you.